here's the thing. When we talk about hypergamy, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, because when I get into the Sydney Watson section of today's show, we're going to get into this. When I talk, what you're referring to is the iron rule of Tomassi number 3. And it goes something, I'm going to paraphrase myself. Anytime a woman makes you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. Okay. That's the short version of it. You have to actually read the chapter, read the book, read what comes, like even just the paragraph that's like right below that statement. And you'll understand, you have a much better understanding of it. So when I talk about, is there a valid exception to rule number 3? This is what I always get from girls. Well, you don't want to be, some girls don't want to have sex on the first date. I'm not saying you should have sex on the first date. I'm saying any woman who makes you wait for sex, or by her actions, or just admittedly says, I'm making him wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. Why do I say that? It's not because I think guys should go fuck loose women or fuck anything on 2 legs, or just say, hey, you know what? If I don't get pussy, then I'm out of here. What I'm saying is I want guys to avoid waiting 6, 7, 8, 10 months or a year or 3 years to get in there. We asked this question, by the way, on Adam Sosnick's show. Like, what's the longest you've ever made a guy wait for sex? One of these chicks said something like 3 or 6 months, something like that. And that's who that rule is for. Because if a woman is, okay, so for instance, I kind of pair this up with the 3 strikes rule. And which, by the way, is I'll
stump that bitch.
Credit where it's due. That's Tom Leykis's 3 strikes rule, right? And the idea is this: is that you should know in the space of 3 dates, just 3 dates, or whatever it passes for a fucking date right now. You should know within 3 dates where that woman's interest level is at. So if you're, you go out, like, because you think about 3 dates. If you do that over the course of like 3 weeks or maybe a month, you're a month in and you've been sticking it out. If I just do this, I'm going to get in there. If I just say this, if I get that, I'm going to get in there. 9 times out of 10, when a woman is making you wait for sex, it is mitigated by something else. And it's usually mitigated by a better opportunity. I don't want this guy to, I don't want to lead this guy on because I don't know if this other situation is going to pan out. Or, this guy's great. He loves, maybe he's laying it on a little too thick, but there's this really cute guy in my chemistry class or whatever at college or whatever the fuck it is. Right. And I want to see if he's going to hit me up first. Because for women, when it comes to spinning plates, when it comes to dating non-exclusively, we tend to forgive that of women because it's women's prerogative. It's prudent for women to have multiple suitors, right? To have a pool of guys amongst which to choose the best of them, right? Because women look for quality, men look for quantity, and there's quantity has a quality all its own. But we forgive that in women when it comes to like wanting to, that's why we say, well, you don't want to have a woman who's loose. I wouldn't want that guy to think I'm easy. There is that frame of thought. I get that. That's old school 20th century sort of like puritanical thinking right there, which I personally don't think is tenable. I understand why it exists. I don't think it's tenable, and certainly not in the 21st century, if not the latter half of the 20th. But then there's the Sterling Cooper school of thought that goes something like, well, if a woman appreciates me and wants me and knows enough to like show me that she has a genuine burning desire to get with me to the point where she will break her rules to do so, to me, that seems like she understands what she's all about it, and she's really about it. So you could say, well, she's easy, she must do this with every guy. Well, the thing is you got to remember, especially in this day and age, women are sharing high value men. So if they see you as a really high value, like alpha opportunity, for lack of a better term, that woman becomes sexual. She breaks rules for alphas and she makes rules for betas. The making of the rules for betas is where iron rule number 3 comes in. She's making rules for you. I'm not going to have sex with you until what? Then you get into this transactional frame of mind. Well, I got to invest more in it. I got to make her feel comfortable. I got to buy her flowers. I got to take her to whatever show she wants to see. I have to do all these things, prove my quality more or less. And then what happens is those guys slide into a transactional relationship rather than what would probably benefit them in the long run in a healthier, long-term relationship, which is one that's based on genuine desire, one that's based on, I want to fuck this guy so bad that I'm going to break rules for him. That's I think is a much healthier way to start that relationship.